Hi everyone, welcome to season 2 of Rebellious Politico. Now, being a Politico, that should mean that we are all refreshed from another conference season, and I would say that the heat is truly on for the government, but I feel like that sounds a little bit too bitter, given the backlash that they've received even at their own conference, since denying about 780,000 pensioners that much needed winter fuel allowance. And let's take a little bit of a break from that monstrosity of a policy to talk about one of the most famous women in the UK. It's best to wait until the Sue Gray report is revealed. We had the sentence or variations of it countless times following the COVID party's investigation at number 10. Her name became so severely famous even for those who don't follow politics, and her report itself became the cornerstone upon which those in oppositions and even members of the Conservative Party would use to attack then Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The final report was published in May 2022, and lo and behold, it was leaked that this independent investigator was already being courted by none other than Keir Starmer less than a year later. Now, according to the Advisory Committee on Business Appointments, no rules were broken by Miss Gray, or Keir for that matter, in this courtship, and she was able to take up the position of Keir's Chief of Staff in September 2023. What was interesting was Keir's smug line on her appointment. Sue will be able to ensure we hit the ground running. So confident. Honestly, I think he simply sought to ensure that the scandal over the rule breaking of Partygate was cemented in the nation's mind by hiring the woman with the now very famous name and the woman responsible for the damning report. But then, less than 100 days in, she's gone. That's hitting the ground running.
Today, in a statement, she said, "Throughout my career, my first interest has always been public service. However, in recent weeks, it has become clear to me that intense commentary around my position risks becoming a distraction to the government's vital work of change. It is for that reason I have chosen to stand aside." Keir Starmer said, "I want to thank Sue for all the support she has given me, both in opposition and in government, and her work to prepare us for government and get us started on our programme of change."
So Sue Gray resigns because she says that she is a distraction from the government, hence her sideways movement to the new role of the PM's envoy for the regions and nations. That's a silly title. Also, we have devolved government. I don't know why we would need an envoy for that. But anyway, how very noble of Sue Gray. To be perfectly honest, she isn't really supposed to be in the spotlight. She has been in the news rather a lot. Questions over her pay, how number 10 is functioning and working, and that she has too much power, all of that, it really isn't the job of the chief of staff, who is supposed to be behind the scenes. But given her resignation letter, what is understood to have really happened is that Keir was given several very harsh wake-up calls at conference. The party members expressed their concerns over the freebies that the PM benefited from so blatantly, and of course, massive outrage throughout the nation expressed over his Chancellor's move to cut the winter fuel allowances. And where Gray is concerned specifically, she has been said to be utterly controlling, even refusing to hire deputy chiefs of staff so as not to lose her own power. Yet given that, still did not have a grip on the centre of government and what was happening. Not to mention, members of the party blame her for stagnating appointments and releasing more or less hostile briefings regarding her own salary. This highlights not a problem with Sue Gray, but the Prime Minister. To be honest, she did her role as a Partygate investigator well, and probably does deserve the pay that she was given. But when she was scouted by Keir for the Chief of Staff role, it reeked of self-righteousness, the delusional character trait that seems to define this Labour Party. For some reason, Keir thought that it was a good move to bring the beacon of Partygate impartiality into the Labour fold, but yet accept gifts that with no thought to how that would affect his own impartiality. And when Sue struggled clearly to get a grip on things when she had the Chief of Staff job, because she found herself in a position of having to help a group of newly elects who were out of practice, out of touch, and hyped up on their own pretentious power, coupled with her own brand of disillusion, she came up with, I'm a distraction. To be honest, now the distraction is gone, maybe we'll find even more of Kea's freebies. Some of you might know about Shami Chakrabarti, who conducted the investigations into anti-Semitism when Jeremy Corbyn was leader of the Labour Party. Then, following her investigations which led to the downfall of Jeremy, she received a peerage of the House of Lords. Sue Gray is being considered for that peerage too. I'm going to guess that that might be because her new role and the benefits that comes with it only buys her silence for so long. Not only does Kea's party reek of self-righteousness, but they seem to be developing quite a track record for handouts to those who helped to place them there. As for the new chief of staff, well, he's an expert at failing to declare donations, so I'd say he's a perfect fit for Kea. Labour will reach 100 days of power on the 12th of October. A rocky start is truly an understatement. Well, party conference season is over, Parliament is in full swing, and scandals are here, there, and everywhere. So I imagine that this week's Prime Minister question time is going to be quite a lot of fun. And the opposition is going to have quite a lot to say. But speaking of the opposition, this leadership contest is taking much too long. Something that the new leader probably needs to look into for the future. When it comes to the leadership, many people had a lot to say about the candidates for leadership and their speeches at the Tory party conference. But what I will say is we do need to look a little bit deeper than just the speeches. Because if the Conservatives are to truly hold the Labour to account, then they need a leader who can absolutely hold the party together, because it's fractured right now, and to think otherwise is to be in complete denial. Well, that's it for Rebellious Politico for now.